Members of the committee, besides RBI, were a few commercial banks, representatives of industry associations, and few bureaucrats from the centers as well as from the state governments. The committee used to meet, I think, once every 6 months. I am not aware of what the position is now in this regard, but at a stage it was observed that deliberations in the absence of desired and comprehensive feedback from the field were getting into a routine without providing the desired value addition. It was therefore decided by the then governor of the bank that we might additionally hold open house meetings directly with entrepreneurs at centers where there is a concentration of small units. I participated in a couple of them along with some commercial bankers and also some bureaucrats. The first one, perhaps it was in Ludhiana. It did create some heat as between bankers and the industry representatives, but the discussion did cover considerable ground to improve the perception on both the sides, and the program concluded with understanding and appreciation of each other's point of view. The second open house that I attended was held at Bhubaneswar, was uproarious, and strong allegations were made against bankers by the industry, mainly for displaying unhelpful attitude. Bankers, on the other hand, had their own goals, mainly talking about lack of adequate disclosures on the part of industry. Mood was very aggressive on both sides, and no constructive moves were coming forward. Strong mutual accusations were not leaving room to hear and understand clearly the views of either side. The whole exercise appeared moving towards a disaster. Perhaps the industry didn't want to let go the opportunity it got, perhaps for the first time. It was at that stage I intervened and suggested that we pick up about a dozen actual contentious cases which would be gone into separately by a small group comprising a banker, a representative of the industry association, and the local head of Reserve Bank, and that this group will resolve the contentious issues. This was accepted. This helped to calm tempers. Later, this group met a few times and sorted out issues between the bankers and the industry in all these cases. I think both the sides became wiser after that. Purpose behind my narrating these instances was to emphasize that an honest dialogue with understanding and appreciation of each other's viewpoint could resolve the financial issues. Of course, a constructive attitude on the part of banker has to be a prerequisite. Today, marketing has emerged as one of the most important factors for business success. In ordinary sense, marketing means selling the products, but we need to distinguish between marketing and selling. Well, in simple language, selling is basically a one-time transaction, but marketing is a continuous process of relationship building, relationship between organizations, brands and customers. Organizational growth to a great extent is led by the strength of these marketing relationships and not merely by selling products. Relationship between organization and customer, however, to a great extent depends on the expectations and confidence of the customer, and confidence is built on the basis of trust and track record of the company. Expectation of the customer can be fulfilled through assured delivery satisfaction, services and timely responses. There are examples that many companies could not grow enough due to the failure in this area. While there are some companies which started small but emerged as big corporates later. So an entrepreneur needs to consciously cultivate this to become effective and to lead the growth. I am sure much of this ground you must have covered during the period you have spent with XLRI. There are a couple of other issues which usually confront an enterprise, and many of those in this group who are already involved with industry would have already experienced these problems, and if they have not experienced it, they are really lucky. First one is related to power. The uninterrupted availability of it is ethical. But the picture is difficult. It may not be so across the board, but is faced by the industry in many geographical areas. The position differs from state to state. It is basically due to inadequate investment to create additional capacity. The situation gets further aggravated because of wastage of power by those segments who get it cheap or free. In addition, there is a theft of power by unscrupulous elements. The position needs to improve and improve fast. I am aware of a state where I am told availability of power is not a problem at all, and consumers, including the farm and industry, get quality supplies, but have to pay for it. Nothing comes free. It will help matters if political considerations take a backseat in addressing these issues. The second problem relates to compliance with various requirements laid down by the government and maybe by the local authorities, and which are required to be supervised and enforced by the concerned inspectors. These requirements need to be reviewed by government from time to time so as to align them with the changing ground realities. Otherwise, they prove, I am told, quite cumbersome and irritable. By flagging these various issues, I do not mean to discourage the new entrepreneurs. We only need to be aware of these realities. These can certainly be attended to and tackled. After all, the existing industry has also tackled them. You have taken up a purposeful mission of being an entrepreneur, and I am sure with your perseverance you will be able to overcome successfully the various roadblocks that come your way. One area which I would always like the entrepreneurs to be sensitive about is the need to keep their eyes and ears open for opportunities cropping up before them in their fields, other than their existing line of business. But one needs to be extremely careful in selecting the area where to diversify, as it should not lead to neglect of your existing activity. Diversification could be a double-edged sword. If attempted after proper study and due diligence, it would add handsomely to your bottom line. Diversification is not a must for growth, but it is desirable so that one is not dependent solely on a single activity. So one needs to keep looking for opportunities and assess the synergies and to what extent it could be attempted without disturbing the smooth running of an existing activity. If one is in manufacturing, one may be comfortable in adding even pure trading activity. This is only a passing suggestion, and you yourself may have to decide what is going to add strength to your business. Another area of emerging importance for corporate performance is corporate social responsibility. Society supports corporate development and growth by providing land, labor, manpower, and finally the market for the products. There is an inseparable relationship between corporates and the society, and corporates should contribute to social development as its obligation and not as charity. Corporate social responsibility is not a spending proposition alone, but also a profit enhancing ability. Research has shown that companies spending on CSR have better track record of growth. You have a